Hello, CCL Sports Cards fans. What is up? It is time for my long-awaited 2022 Bowman episode. Today, I'm going to tell you what I feel is the very best strategy as it relates to 2022 Bowman, and which prospects I feel are worth chasing, in my opinion. As well, if you like to break, which teams offer the best value. I know there were many requests for an episode of this nature, but most of you watching this have probably figured out that I'm not going to recommend you chase the latest and greatest prospects, especially in or around release week, and that I prefer to talk about things like 2022 Bowman once a little of the hype has come down and prices settle a bit. As I've learned from my experience, chasing this stuff on release is really not the best strategy, at least as I see it. I mean, in 21 Bowman, you could be taught that people were paying upwards of like $15 for a paper first Bowman of Austin Martin on release week, and those sentiments get somewhat amplified with high-end color. Yes, I know the argument that big color disappears quick after release, so you gotta be aggressive. Like, I get that, but I just feel it can lead to some disastrous losses. I was talking to a friend of mine just this morning who on release was lucky enough to land an true orange auto of Maximo Acosta when 21 Bowman Chrome came out, which he then flipped for $3,400 immediately. Needless to say, a year following 21 Bowman Chrome's release, you can pick up that card graded for far less. I even bought one and I showcased it and the price I paid a few months ago in an I Just Invested episode. Check it out. The link is right there. The best part is Maximo is only 19 and excluding the last couple of games has had a nice season of growth, and his cards are dirt cheap relative to what they were release week and maybe even a little bit after that. I'll say it another way. For every Wander Franco who never got cheap, and yes, his big color costs a fortune, and more than that if you would have bought it on release, there are dozens of people holding big color of guys like Kevin Maton's, whose card I actually keep on my shelf right back there to remind me of what happens to paying up for hype. Now, to be clear, I really hope Kevin Maton does well, but so far after 4 years, he really hasn't figured it out. More recently, look at Robert Pawson, who I actually still like a little, but has only gotten cheaper. His True Gem Plus BGS 95 True Gold just sold at auction on May 5th, just 2 weeks ago for $585. That was a $4,000 card easily on release. And as an FYI, Pawson looks a little better these days, although not a world beater by any means. But keep in mind, he is only 19 as well. My point is this. Sometimes the most effective strategy to do is to wait and see what happens. But I understand the allure of trying to hit it big. I've been there, I've done that, and I've got the t-shirt to prove it. It's why I recommend buying wax. And what better place to begin than in today's episode and talk about sealed wax? It's a hedge against trying to pick the best prospects every year. And yes, if you're curious, I purchased a jumbo case of 2022 Bowman in pre-sale from Dave & Adam's Card World for $4,200, and I added it to my pile of wax. Geez, that's a good-looking closet, isn't it? It's a good-looking closet of wax. Makes me happy. As I have alluded to in other episodes, that strategy of holding wax requires discipline, but it is very effective if you can pull it off. As a side note, if you don't have the means to buy a jumbo case, buy a hobby case, and failing that, maybe a box or two. I mean, this is a proven strategy. Take a look at what a case of 2019 jumbo or Bowman jumbo costs. It'll set you back. Are you ready for this? 25 grand these days. 2020 costs 11 grand, or maybe a little less today, as the market has really gotten soft in general as it relates to sports cards. And wax is not immune by any means. Now, with all that said, it is important to have some fun, and while looking at wax collect dust may not be fun, I like to think of things that are collecting dust as growing in value, because as supply decreases over time, the value increases. But with that, let's get to the reason you're all here, prospecting and the chase. Let's ride. When putting together this list for 2022 Bowman, I'm not going to come out here and tell you to buy the most expensive prospects. More often than not, as this is reckless to me, an example of which would be someone like Colson Montgomery. Many people like this guy, and yeah, he was the 22nd overall pick in 2021, and he has been playing much better these days, but at $140 for a base auto, I say nah. A side note here, just 2 weeks ago, this card was $300. I'll just pass. When I look for prospects to stock up on and chase, first off, I will look at their age. Age is a factor because if they are inexpensive and 18 years old, like a lot of high school draftees or international prospects, they have time to develop. and still have a pretty darn good shot to make their MLB debut at a very young age. Think Bryce Harper, Mike Trout, Acuna, Soto. These guys are superstars, all of whom debuted as teenagers, with Acuna the lone exception, who debuted at 20. After their age, I like to see what level they're playing at, which also relates to age. If they are 23, 24, and in AA, those prospects and their cards will be cheap for a reason. While it is not impossible to reach superstardom, the odds are stacked fairly heavy against them, which leads to price and performance. If they are performing well in their debuts and have a low price point, I'm certainly interested. So in summary, when putting together this list, I chose to use those criteria, and always do, to filter out players. It goes age, performance, and price. Here are my top 5, starting with my man Brian Acuna of the Minnesota Twins. His base autos are running about $100 to $110 these days, and they were $200 routinely on the release. So I like him even more down here. He's 16, has good pedigree, so we have loads of time to see how things go. Next up, I suggest Carlos Aguilar, left-handed hitting center fielder for the Minnesota Twins. His cards are dirt cheap. I mean, you can pick up a base auto of his for next to nothing. His refractor just sold for $15 on May 19th. He had 8 home runs in 2021 in 97 at-bats. He is my sleeper pick. Then there is Curtis Mead, 21 years old, third baseman for the Rays. He's already in AA and was having a really nice season before getting hurt. At $90 for a base auto, I'm a fan. And Warming Bernabel is certainly another guy to look at, although the secret is kind of out on him. He is an absolute beast and killing it in A-ball for the Fresno Grizzlies. The kid's still just 19, a shortstop, and at $65 for a base auto, I say let her rip. He looks real good. Then there's Felix Valerio, another guy I'm high on. At $40 for a base auto, there's a lot to like. Again, at 21 years old and in AA for the Brewers, the second baseman has quietly put together a very solid minor league career. His home run numbers are up. Career-wise, he was a one home run in every 40 at-bats kind of guy. And now he's on pace for a home run in every 20 at-bats. He's worth a look if you ask me. Now, if you're someone who likes to break, listen up. These are my best ideas for teams to chase in 2022 Bowman. These prices quoted are based on the prices listed at My Favorite Breakers at Pristine Worldwide and reflect full jumbo case PYT. Ready? First up, the Toronto Blue Jays, costing you only $75. There's a lot of value here in my opinion. First Bowman autos of Damiano Palmigiani and Martin Jimenez. But you also get rookie card autos of Otto Lopez, who is a beast and doesn't have an actual first Bowman card, giving his rookie card autos more value. You also get first Bowman base cards of Samad Taylor and Esteban Machado. Also, I say chase the Brew Crew at $185. It's a really good checklist. First Bowman autos of Brandon Uraba, Felix Valerio, who I already like, and Henry Mendez, who has promise and seems to be well liked by everybody. You also get first Bowman base cards of Jackson Churio, who is quite popular, and Jeremy Vargas. That is a lot of value. 5 guys for $185. Now my top pick is to chase is the Giants, and why not? You get a crazy number of hitters with this team. First Bowman autos of the popular Averson Arteaga, and then there's Anthony Rodriguez and Ricardo Genovez, who's already in AAA, as well as first Bowman base cards of Diego Velasquez, Diego Rincones, and Adrian Sugasti. That's 6 hitters. Crazy good value to that team. I also like the Colorado Rockies and the Minnesota Twins, but for the Twins at $285, it's a little tough if you skunk. And keep in mind that Mr. Acuna does not have base cards. So if you don't hit an auto, that's tough. Folks, thank you so much for watching again this week. And drop me a line in the comments. What do you think of my top picks? Who are you chasing this year? And what have I missed? Keep in mind, anything I say on this channel is strictly my opinion and should be taken as such. Have an awesome start to your week, folks.